Should be live right now. Alright, well, previous one was a test, and technically this is a test as well. I can hear myself. Awesome! You can hear my cat and everything. Look at you. Always meowing at people. Yeah, my cat's name's Shadow. He's one of those tuxedo cats. He's black and white. I didn't do that. Why? Alright, there's all this buzzing. I have no idea why. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about the buzzing, so... Now we gotta test something. Testing. Whatever, this is the best I'm gonna get. Alright, well, let me set up the other program. Hopefully that works smoothly. Oh, this sucks. I don't know where this buzzing is coming from. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Yeah, I don't know where this buzzing is coming from, but we're just going to have to bear with me. There we go. Alright, the program just opened up. It's called Sonar. You should be seeing it. Let me check. There we go. Oh, yeah, I forgot to put the invite. Alright, now the invite should be in the low bar. Yeah, you can hear me typing away like crazy. Alright, what you're looking at is a program called Sonar. Yeah, I recently purchased it. I used to use Cubase, but I like this one better. I don't really feel like going into the details right now. This is going to be a guitar. And I'm going to add another one called vocals. Alright, I named this vocals, but I'm not going to be doing any vocals. I'm just going to do like scratch text. I know where to place everything. But I'm going to find someone else to actually do the vocals. As much as I like singing, I don't feel like doing it right now. Alright, I don't know if you can see it, but I just opened up East-West Piano Simulator. And it's loading up the piano sounds. I think it's like a Steinway or something. Right now I'm tweeting out the link. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by Twitter. Just give me a minute. Huh. All right. Well, it's East West has uploaded his piano, or is finished processing the piano. Yeah, there you go. There's your piano sound. Another one for drums. Easy drummer. Yeah, one reason why I got Sonar is because I can use Easy Drummer and Play, which is the piano, in this program at the same time. There's a drum kit. I'm going to change this to Metalhead's Basic. Yeah, I bought Easy Drummer 2 back when they were having this, like, buy one, get a free upgrade. So the upgrade I got was the Meshuggah drummer. I forgot his name. Oh, I'm probably not gonna, you guys aren't going to be able to hear this. Oh, you can't hear this. God damn it, why is everything going wrong? Fuck. Oh, that's why you can't hear it. Ha ha ha. Hopefully everything doesn't go to shit. Testing. Alright, you can see how many. So far, everything hasn't exploded yet. Let's bring out the drum kit. That's way too loud. Yeah, the reason why I'm worried about this whole thing exploding is because if you watched my live stream for the New Year's Eve, just everything just went to shit. And I had to like reconfigure things to figure out what the heck was going on. So yeah, I found out what's going on now. So I mean, you still have that buzzing, but beyond that, there's really nothing I can do with that. That's enough of that. Yeah, everybody who's been here since the beginning, I thank you. And beginning of my channel, I thank you. And so hopefully, later on, I'll get a lot more subscribers. And when I get my shit together, I'll turn it on. Alright, the song I'm working on right now is going to be a single. My idea is that I'll basically record and mix and master this album, or this song. Sorry. I'll mix and master this song, and then I'll just hold on. Yeah, so I can listen to like the live stream to make sure it sounds good. I have it playing in the background, but sometimes it's distracting. As you can see, I'm easily distracted. So, what I'm planning on doing is just creating the song, just giving it a really good polish, and then I'm just going to hopefully it goes viral. Probably won't, but if it does, I'm going to show this as an example of my ability to mix music, and so I'm going to offer my services to other people who want their music mixed, and hopefully some of those people are willing to pay for it. Stupid cat. I don't know what's with you, cat. Other people want to hang out with you as well, but you just want to hang out in my house. Fine, okay. Whatever. Let's see. Oh, this song is called "Of the Weak and the Wicked." Oh, something's supposed to be capitalized. Let's be professional. Yeah. Oh, hold up. Yeah, oh, it's a single, so I can all go in here. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, what I used to do was just I used to put like all of my whenever. Let me start from the beginning. Whenever you record some, like if I record some guitar, that would go into it'll go into the what was it called? Audio folder. So any kind of audio, regardless of whether there's guitar, bass, singing, or just people talking, or maybe just a car crash, whatever the audio is, whatever's been recorded. It's gonna go into this folder called an audio folder. And so some people, they end up having one audio folder for all of their projects. And so they have a gig, 10 gigs, 20 gigs, so on and so forth of just audio files in this one folder, and they can't delete it all because that would mean all their projects that use that are just not going to be able to function, because they're going to look for the audio files and they're just not going to be there. And so it's going to ask you, if I open up Sonar and I had actually done that, it's going to ask me to go find where those files are, and I wouldn't be able to do that because they were deleted. So what I like to do is I like to get each individual song its own folder, and I put the audio files for that song in that folder. So in case I decide that I don't want a song anymore, I don't want to work on the song anymore, or maybe if I'm working on somebody else's song, or maybe I just need to pass on these files to somebody else, I know exactly where to find them. Let's see. Hold on. I'm gonna put down a simple drum track so I can see how it sounds. So I'm turning. Yeah, I just turn on the stream in the background so I can hear what the drums are gonna sound like. So right now I have the tempo at 120. So I might want it faster. I might want it slower. I'm not entirely sure. View, piano roll. Oh my gosh, it's not showing anymore? Wow, I don't know how long it hasn't been showing it, but whatever. It's actually a good thing that it turned off, because I had sensitive information out, and I'm worried it might be seen. Oh, I think I moved it somewhere else. Crap. Alright, now I need to find where is my, like, what I'm looking for is, let me, hold on. Alright, what I'm looking for is, like, if you look at this piano right here, you can see the piano keys. Well, when you're doing drums, like, there are some programs that have drum maps, which I wish this one had, but Sonar, I think it's like Sonar Student or Sonar Beginner or whatever it's called. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have a drum map, so it's just, all you have these notes. And each one of these notes represents a, hold on, let me pull it out, like a different instrument in the drum kit. So, the kick, that's one note on the piano. Snare's another one, so on and so forth. So just bear with me. Yeah, I'm looking for my drum kit, my piano notes. Nice, it went off again. What would it even be? You know, I can't sit here looking for it all day. Alright, whatever. Well, I pulled up the lyrics for the song we're gonna make, so we'll just continue on without it. There we go. Alright, let me change the, then time signature. I think C5 or C4. I'm going to check C4. That might be somewhere around where the kick is. Alright, well, I'm not trying to like just explain everything that's going on here, but one of the things I want to talk about is unpopular opinions. So the ethno-state. Like I said before, I'm going to delete that, so I'm just going to repeat it. Yeah, I think the idea of an ethno-state is kind of stupid. I think it's ridiculous to base an entire country around just like whiteness or blackness or Asianness or Arabness or Jewishness or whatever the case may be. Ooh. Actually, I'm gonna mute this real quick. You guys don't need to hear all that. Trying to figure out which one's actual kick. Yeah, when people talk about like an ethno state, it always, specifically like a white nationalist, always goes down to like somebody being smarter than someone else or whatever. And if that's the case, why don't you just build a nation based on intelligence? I really wish I found my notes. I don't even know if I'm getting closer or further away. I mean, it makes even more sense that based on culture, just people who have a similar culture. I mean, I still don't think you need to build an entire nation based on culture. I mean, people have different cultures from basically just living in different places. And honestly, it's just a lot of people, like a lot of people who are like basically race baiting, like they think they're a victim. Like the people who are white nationalists, they think they're a victim as well. I should say all of them. Hashtag not all, but there are a lot of people who think they're victims, so that just pushes them to just be as radical as they want to be. I'm gonna write this down. Snare. What nose is? E3 snare. So annoying that I just didn't have like easy access to my notes. I think somebody tweeted something at me. Huh, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I sent this out to Darkstar, Hannah Wall, and Bunny Blackwell. I have no idea if any of them are going to join. Give me a moment. He's saying check the chat. I think he's responding to my ethno state comment. Darkstar is in the chat talking about how it didn't work out for the people in Eureka, the show Eureka. I actually haven't watched the show, so I'm just going to take your word for it. Yeah, honestly, as far as the government, I think less government tends to be better. I'm not saying that like a small government equals bad and a large government equals. Wait, no, sorry, I got that backward. I'm not saying a small government automatically equals good and a large government automatically equals bad. But a large government means there's just more people want to watch.
Well, hello!
Yeah, Darkstar, if you want to get into the live stream, you can go ahead and join. There's the invite. Oh, yeah,
I am already here, and I can hear myself.
If I have somebody to talk to instead of talking to myself. So, how do you feel about the ethno state?
Are you wearing headphones?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, but I'm echoing to myself really loudly.
I should be able to hear you, but I can't hear you. Oh, let me check my settings. No, I should be able to hear you. I'm assuming your ears gotten better. Either that or you're not wearing headphones. Okay, now you just left the chat. Okay, so that was him echoing. Oh, you're back.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Because I can't hear you. You're not saying anything.
Yeah, I can.
I mean, I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I was gonna get bored talking to myself. Oh, crap.
Okay, can you hear me?
Darkstar, can you hear me? Is that when you start things on the fly?
Can you hear me at all?
Yeah, I should be able to hear you, but for some reason I can't hear you. Oh, I'm
all right, let me restart.
The sound of live stream on and see if I can hear you there. So you can hear me, but I can't hear you. What the heck is going on? I don't know why. I don't know why everything has to go wrong now. Yeah, can you try talking to me now?
Yeah.
Hey, Darkstar, say something to me.
Something to you.
Can you even hear me? Did something happen? Testing. Alright, you still hear me? Come back in the chat. I think it might be something on my side. Because, like, you're coming in through the live stream.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Already. Must have been a Firefox issue.
Alright, cool. Whew. So, last time, like, I previously named this thing Unpopular Opinions. So, I was going to talk about all sorts of things. Like, well, I started with the ethno state. I was also going to talk about abortion and some other stuff. But basically just... I was also going to talk about the new Metallica album.
Oh, no.
Yeah, fuck everything else. Let's talk about the Metallica album.
Yeah, sure.
Did you listen to it?
I've listened to the... Oh, God. What is that? What is that new one that they play like ad nauseum?
Is it Hardwired Self-Destruct?
Hardwired, yes.
Yeah. Actually, I like that song. It's okay. The song I really like on that album is Spit Out the Bone.
I'm so tired of Metallica.
I think Metallica's getting tired of Metallica. It sounds like they don't even want to sound like themselves. Like, honestly, I think it should. My unprofessional opinion, I think they should have. They should have just Spit Off the Bone. Instead of made that their last song, they should have made that the first song, and then the rest of the songs should have just been like songs similar in style to that song. Because the rest of the songs were kind of like they kind of remind me more of like Load and Reload than they did their older stuff like Kill 'Em All and Master of Puppets.
Well, after Death Magnetic, they were doing an interview at Guitar Center, and people were like, "Why don't you go back to doing your old stuff?" And Kirk's like, "That's a great idea. I'll just do like a 45-minute solo on top of everything." And James is like, "I can't do it." He's like, I just can't do it anymore like I used to." So that's just the whole point. Remember when he had to take vocal lessons because he scarred his vocal cords?
I don't remember that.
Well, he actually had to take vocal lessons because he scarred his vocal cords, and that's when they really started sounding different.
Huh. All right.
He can't scream anymore like, Four Horsemen, lightning up your ass. He just can't do that kind of shit anymore. And then
Lightning up your ass. I don't think that's the name of the album.
Sorry, metal up your ass. That's it. I was thinking of Ride the Lightning.
Yeah, I mean, from what I heard, as the story goes, they wanted to name their first album "Metal Up Your Ass," but like the record company wouldn't let them. And then Cliff Burton, he yelled, "Let's just kill them all!" And then they decided to use "Kill 'Em All."
Yeah. They actually had the album art. I think you can still find it on Google.
I think I've seen T-shirts with like, I don't know if that was the original album art, but it's like a toilet with like a piece of metal just sticking out of it. Out the top.
It's a hand sticking out of the toilet with a knife.
Alright. Yeah, I also got the new Iron Maiden album and the new Megadeth album. And Megadeth album, I haven't really listened to it that much. But there's actually one song on it that's like... it's hard to describe. Like, it's not like really good. Like, it's catchy. I like listening to it. But it's also kind of cheesy as well. Kind of cringy. Kind of like a good cringe, kind of. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. I think it's called like The Emperor Has No Clothes or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing that's misfortunate about Megadeth is that it seems like Dave Mustaine is actually like trying to learn how to sing and trying to like make it sound like you can actually understand what he's saying. Unfortunately, that kind of makes it sound like it's actually making him sound worse, oddly enough.
I've got a few of their songs that I like, but ultimately I think Dave Mustaine is a crybaby bitch. So is most of Metallica. But I mean, if you like, they fucking like turned him around on a bus and said, "You know what? Fuck you. Go back home."
Wow.
That's how they left him in New York. They drove up there and then like paid for him to go back. They didn't even want to like. If Metallica is basically calling you a whiny little bitch, you have a problem. I mean, have you seen Some Kind of Monster? These guys are like, oh my god, I couldn't sit halfway through it.
Yeah, I think I've seen part of it, maybe not all of it. And the album itself, Some Kind of Monster, I don't hate it as much as a lot of other people do, but it's not really that good either. Like, I think they had a rule that was like no guitar solos, which, I mean, why even listening to Metallica if they're not going to do guitar solos?
That's actually quite interesting because at that point, a lot of people were still doing solos, and once Saint Anger hit, you saw a lot more mainstream people doing that chug 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 fucking type of riffing style. It became a lot more common. I mean, like in more mainstream music, like more mainstream metal.
Yeah, I think it was fun. It's like, I forgot what year it was. I think it was like maybe like the early 2000s or something on that line, where like a lot of bands that typically, like a lot of new metal bands that didn't actually do guitar solos, bands like Disturbed, bands like Slipknot. I don't. Well, I didn't really listen to Korn, so I don't know whether they started doing this as well. But a lot of those bands, like, they started like coming out with like songs that actually had guitar solos in it. Mastodon as well, because a lot of their songs didn't have guitar solos, and then like one of their I think a lot more of their like recent albums have more and more guitar solos.
Right. I got into a lot of the stuff I used to listen to. I mean, I don't listen to anymore. I mean, as much because like on the radio, man, they will play something to death.
Oh yeah, I know the feeling, man.
And so I got more into blues and kind of started playing more blues and like, wow, you know, this shit actually has something to say. Like you listen to like Buddy Guy, and one of his songs is so awesome because the whole premise is just he's got to go to his daughter's house to use the phone, finds out that his daughter's not there and his granddaughter's there alone. And that's the whole premise of the song. That's it. That's it. He's pissed off because his granddaughter is there at the house by herself. There's nothing more complicated than that.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, at least it says something very simple.
Yeah, I don't know at what point you came into this live stream, but I actually had like written down like this program doesn't have a what's it called, a drum map, and so if you look at the screen, you'll see at the like bottom left ish, you'll see like a piano.
Yeah.
And so basically that's there even if I'm using like a drum kit. So, you know, I'll bring up the drums. It's Easy Drummer 2. So, yeah, that's going to be there regardless of whether I have a drum kit or not. And so what I did before was I basically typed in what all the different instruments of the drum kit and how it tied to the various notes. And I don't know where that is right now, so I'm just going to just guess around for a while.
I keep trying to talk myself into getting a MIDI board, but I never do.
Oh, come on.
And I never will.
I gotta find it somewhere around here. Oh, no. I mean to click on that. I'm trying looking for it again because this is really tedious. I want to get a lot further than I actually did. Oh, I don't know why, but it just happens to be that my whenever I make like a theme song for someone, it seems to turn out really well.
That's cool.
Yeah, like I made a theme song for Otter Jesus. That's like one of my favorite songs. Yeah, the other thing that's really cool is I made a theme song for, I made a metal version of Preston 20, or yeah, Tyler Preston 20. I made a metal version of his theme song, and like he played it on a live stream, and it seems like everybody in the live stream really liked it.
Awesome.
And like Jeff Holiday was in that stream as well, so I'm gonna send him a tweet telling him that I was the one who made that theme. I don't know if you're a Jeff Holiday, have you?
Nope.
Yeah. Well, I mean, basically he's a YouTuber. He talks about feminism and other stuff. He does a lot of charity work as well, so he's a really cool guy.
That's cool. I'll have to look him up, but I've got like a shit ton of, like I've got so many fucking subscriptions right now, man. It's hard to keep up with all of them.
Yeah, I
finally just figured out how to fucking allocate all of my subscriptions into like alphabetical order. I didn't even know that was there. I was sitting here bitching for like 2 years that they didn't do that, and then I finally looked at the little key. I was like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. I actually have a lot of actually I'm subscribed to a lot of things as well, and I'm actually starting to like unsubscribe to a lot of people because like I may have only like watched one of their videos once, and then subscribed to them, then haven't watched it since. So I'm like, you know, some of these people I'm subscribing to.
I'll go back and watch them and like rediscover them, so to speak. And it's kind of fun to do that when I'm bored. But um, it's like everybody's just going fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, did you hear about what happened to JonTron?
I got bits and pieces, man, but that was it.
Basically, he's a shitlord all the time, this whole time. Yeah, I guess that's the short of it. But the long of it is like he just wanted to be like a funny man comedian, and on YouTube, and he's pretty successful about that. And then he just started hearing more and more about social justice stuff, and he got really, really tired of it. And eventually, he just like essentially snapped, and he just couldn't contain it anymore. He had to start yelling at people about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Good for him.
yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, a lot of people start unsubscribing, and I actually know somebody who actually unsubscribed because of what he said about the women's march.
Uh-huh.
Actually,
I don't even know what he said, but
I don't know. He said a lot of tweets. And like one of the tweets he said was something along the lines of, "It's stupid to support all women. Like, what if what if one of those women was a murderer?" Which I actually heard that one of the women who was a speaker at that march actually was a murderer. So I think that's oddly humorous. And he also said that. Oh yeah. So anyway, some along the lines. The entire tweet was some along the lines of, what if one of those women was a murderer, or worse, they could be conservative women. You guys hate those. It's funny because like I believe like the pro-life feminists were banned from that march.
yeah, they were like disinvited or something.
So it's just like basically his critiques. As much as people were angry about it, he's actually pretty spot on.
Yeah, I'm not one to unsubscribe from somebody just because I disagree with what they believe once,
Yeah.
or even twice or three. I mean, if they go off on a fucking tirade that's like days long, yeah, I'm unsubscribing.
I'm assuming you're banned. Oh, not you're banned. You're blocked by Steve Shives.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've never tweeted him once.
Same thing with me.
Some people are like, I only tweeted him once. It's like, well, get in fucking line. I never tweeted the bastard.
I think PewDiePie's blocked by him as well, and he didn't do anything. He didn't say anything to him.
Yeah, but that's reasonable. I'm just kidding. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like PewDiePie, and it's just popular to not like him.
Yeah, I know. He's the Nickelback of the YouTube sphere.
I don't know. I really don't know much about him, to tell you the truth. I think I've watched one of his videos, and I was like, okay, this is neither really extremely funny or terrible. Oh god, I saw this thing the other day. It's like 5 or 10 bands that you should hate more than Nickelback, and I was like, no, these are just dumb bands. Like there was one on there that I had never actually heard of, and I'm pretty sure nobody else has either. And I was like, why are you telling me why I should hate these bands more than Nickelback? Are you like defending Nickelback or some shit? Did they, I don't know, give you money or some shit?
Did Nickelback murder your parents in a dark alley?
I don't know, but like,
There's a splash.
it would be awesome if they would like, I don't know, make a song that sounded different from the last song.
But there are a lot of bands that are like that. To be fair, like there's what is that one band that's like famous for it? They're like four chords in a solo. What's the name of that band? AC/DC.
Yeah. But people can tolerate listening to that because it's like got that that beat to it.
Yeah.
And, fucking Brian Johnson actually, sings for some point. But like,
Oh, that's awesome.
oh shit, what's his name? Chad Kroger. It sounds like he has diarrhea coming out of his mouth all the time. Like, I'm pretty sure he records himself taking a shit and then sings. Look at this photograph! Every time I do it makes me laugh.
God damn. Oh man. Yeah.
It's like he's straining really hard.
Oh yeah, another thing about Metallica, their latest album, is that they, instead of just making it on one CD like a normal person, they split, like, it's 12 songs, and they split like 6 songs on one CD, 6 songs on another. I have no idea why they did that. So what I did is I just burned a copy of like both of those songs, or both of those albums, both of those CDs on one blank CD. And so that's why I listen to them while I'm driving around my car.
I have no idea why they would do that, but it sounds stupid.
Yeah, Iron Man did the exact same thing.
I don't even have a CD player in my car. It's an MP3 player.
Yeah, back to unpopular opinions. How do you feel about an ethno-state?
Personally, I believe it's a byproduct, and it shouldn't be something that's a goal to reach. Like, if you're talking about an ethnostate, as in, you know, basically one homogenous group of, say, whites or blacks or Native Americans or, I don't know, Croatoans, I don't fucking know. But if you're talking about that, then I think that is a byproduct of history. It's not something that, you know, should be or shouldn't be, but it's a byproduct of history. It's just the way fucking things work out. And when you disrupt that balance of, say, say we've got what's the population of blacks, like 13%, 14%?
I don't really keep track.
Okay, so we've got, say, 13 to 14% blacks. I'm not sure what the Hispanic population is, but say we've got, I don't know, 70% or roughly 70-80% whites. Are probably lower than that now. Now, if you switching these ratios is not a problem. It's how fast you switch those ratios. And the reason being is because you're changing cultures along with it. You've got all these people that say, okay, it's great to be free. We want to be free. We want to be equal. Okay, great. That's what we need to strive for. But Roosevelt basically said it. He said, we cannot afford, we cannot have, you know, you come over and you become an American. You're not an Italian. You're not a Scot. You're not anything else. You are an American. And the whole idea is that you mesh with the mother culture, the popular culture. And that's how, you know, you've got a peaceful coexistence. But to say that there's room for, like, say, white nationalism, and it's in its most hardcore forms, I don't see a use in it. I don't see a use in saying we as like anybody saying I as a black person, or I as a white person, I as a Native American person. As a nation, we really don't have time for that shit. We really don't. Yeah, you can celebrate your heritage just fine, just like anybody else. Of course, unless you're Caucasian. But we really don't have time for that. We've got bigger issues to deal with. And when you're dealing with problems that are on a macroscopic level, and you are in a culture that keeps infinitely looking down on the smallest problem that it can, it literally ignores the forest for the fucking tree.
Yeah, like my issue is that people can get along with each other if they choose to, but another issue is that there are people who view the world through like victim lens. They have like a victim mentality, and so you have somebody like I first heard of him as Black Hitler, but I think his name's like Ghazi Cody or Codeine or whatever his name is.
Okay.
The guy, he's like very effeminate. He's black. He's like equality, y'all. Yeah, that guy. Have you heard of that guy?
No, but I've heard of a lot of people like it.
Well, anyway, like he has like this view of the world from like a victim mentality. That like black people they're like really good people, and it's just they're always oppressed by white people.
Okay, so you've got one group that's always good and one group that's always bad.
Yeah, like remember when those
So cowboys
those
and Indians, great.
remember those four black kids kidnapped the other kid, the white kid,
Yeah.
and they said like fuck Trump, fuck white people, and like they tortured them, they held them for 48 hours. Like he looked at that, like he didn't just out and out say, well, that's totally okay, but he basically was kind of like making excuses for them. He was say talking about how like these are just like working class black people or something like that, and like we need to blame the system. It's like, you know what? I'm pretty sure there is some kind of injustices in the system, but I can still blame individuals when they commit crimes.
Did the system fucking kidnap the dude?
No. But that's the thing, though. They don't want to, like... There are people who do not like personal responsibility. And so, they want to, like... What's the best I can express? Like there's a drug war going on. I don't know how well it's going on now. It seems to be, like, tempering out because a lot of conservatives don't really want to push the whole drug war thing. And so, like, weed's being legalized in a lot of states all over the United States.
Yeah.
And so... Like, as far as, like, people being arrested for something stupid like smoking weed, like, I consider that an issue. That being said, that doesn't give you, like, carte blanche, just do whatever you want, you know? Like, there are people who are getting shot in the streets because they want to sell weed or fighting over territory to sell weed. And so that's something that they can personally control. They don't have to kill each other over territory. All right? The government should not be throwing people in jail just for smoking weed. But... Yes. At the same time, gangbangers don't have to kill each other. Like, I agree with the whole personal responsibility.
I love in Grand Theft Auto when Trevor's talking about how gangsters are the dumbest criminals. Because only a gangster would actually go into a business deal with somebody that they know is going to try to rip them off.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Now, if you really wanted to be a good gangster and you wanted to have your territory, what you would do is you'd act just like the cable companies. You would allocate area, based on demographic or geographical location, and you wouldn't compete. I mean, shit. Do the cable companies compete? Hell no. They make money hand over fucking fist. But, and it would be more peaceful that way. But no.
Yeah, it would be.
Let's kill each other.
Yeah. Yeah, another thing about like an ethno state is like if they want to create one of those in like Europe, like white people want to create one in like Europe, where like that's basically Europe is basically where they make white people. I'd be like, fine. I think it's still weird. I still think it's dumb. But if you want to go over to Europe and do that, that's fine. But like, if you're gonna like try and make one of those in the United States, I'm gonna have an issue with that because I live in the United States and I wouldn't want that to happen.
Well, some people would say you already live in an ethno state, which is basically with a majority of Caucasians. But
Yeah,
they
but
don't.
I don't think
They,
that's what they mean by an ethno state. Because if that were what they mean, then they would shut up about it.
all right, tell me what you're talking about by an ethno state.
Like I think they mean like they make rules based on like they basically try to like keep the number of minorities like down. Like they don't want more than like I'm just gonna throw out a random number. They don't want more than like 15% non-white, and so they're gonna make policies to discourage there from being more and more non-white people.
That
So
would
this
be
is
like
assuming it's like a white ethno state, and so
so.
they're not gonna like immigration unless you're from like a white country like you know Russia or actually I don't know if Russia considers themselves white, but unless you're from like a white country like Germany or France or England or something like that.
Yeah, that's. I don't know how you would go about doing that um, without actually considering yourself, while considering yourself a free nation.
Well, I don't think they will consider themselves a free nation. They'll consider themselves an ethno state. And
Uh,
I think that's one of the reasons why people keep calling them Nazis because, like, in order to have this, like, you're gonna have to figure out a way, some way of like getting non-whites out of your country.
yeah, it's called ethnic cleansing. Um, I don't. It's. I'm a nationalist. I'm not a white nationalist.
All right.
I believe in I believe in support America first, all that great jazzy shit. Um, and I think every country should put themselves first because it's retarded to think that Australia is going to put I don't know Botswana first. I mean that makes no damn sense.
Yeah. Oh my. Dude, every time I start a stream like this, I'm like, all right, and like, I'm gonna have like a song done by the end of it, and I always end up going through a bunch of like technical difficulties or something goes wrong. Like, what's going on now? Like, I don't have my drum map available to me, so I'm trying to make one, and I cannot find the kick. And like I use the kick in every single song. Like I almost always do double bass every single song. And I can't find something that simple. I might be here. Yes, thank you. I'm gonna turn this on real quick. Isn't that beautiful?
It sounds like a tractor.
Oh, I'm gonna try to see if I can hear it. Shut up,
I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna get these crops out here now.
Yeah, sounds like a pretty metal tractor then. You listening, Meshuggah?
Yeah, kind of. Dejenti.
Oh,
More
man.
strings. I need a 14-string guitar.
You know what? I wish they would have kept going with that, just adding more and more strings until they had like a Chapman stick. I want that to be the mainstream metal.
Oh, just basically use a harp.
I mean, a Chapman stick is a harp, though. Have you heard of a Chapman stick?
Is it built by Chapman?
I don't know who Chapman is, so I can't say yes or
Chapman,
no to that.
Chapman guitars. I've seen a Degent stick, which is basically just one giant string. You think I'm kidding?
Oh my god! No, I believe you. I just think
it is one string with guitar pickups underneath it, and is basically played like a slap bass.
All right. Let's see this output. I'm gonna change something real quick. Hopefully, it doesn't destroy everything.
Okay.
Close. All right. So, you hear any funny noises or anything?
Other than the white noise, no.
Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from either. There's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, I talked about earlier, probably before you showed up, but my plan is I'm going to write this song. I'm going to, I mean, I already wrote the lyrics, but whatever. I'm going to write this song, and I'm going to basically use this song as an example of my ability to mix and master music. And then I'm going to sell my services to either bands looking to make an album or bands looking to make a demo, or maybe there's some random person.
I would seriously like test your resolve to do that, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you been through that?
Bands are freaking flaky.
Yeah.
Dude, they will be like, "Oh yeah, I found somebody over here that'll do it for $30 an hour. Can you do better?" No, I can't. And if you can find somebody that's doing it for $30 an hour, good luck in your basement. I did a little bit of like professional recording, and I was like, "Fuck this!" I got into live, and even live bands are like, "Yeah, yeah, I can give you like $30," and Chad said he's going to give you $30, and Marsha, she said that she's going to give you like $30 too. You're going to have to track those guys down. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. You are going to track those people down, and you are going to pay me.
Like, what do you do if people don't pay you? Like,
oh, I take it up front now. I take a deposit.
oh,
I used to not do it anymore. I used to not do it, but I'll take a deposit now, and it's 40%.
all right. Well, I mean, like, what'd you do in the past when somebody just stiffed you? Like, do you just not get your money, or is there something you can do about it?
There's not much you can do about it other than file a claim,
C3.
like small claims court,
Oh, all right.
assuming you got their ID and stuff. But what you're gonna find most is if you've got a lot of friends who are musicians, they're gonna become a lot more friendly. Be like, "Oh, dude, I thought you were just gonna, help us out," and stuff. Yeah, I've had that before too. It's like, oh well, like we thought we were gonna consider you part of the band. Like, no, I'm not part of your band. They were actually considered like, yeah, we were wanting you, like maybe you as the sound guy. No, I am a private contractor. You pay me. You pay me. I don't like run around with your fucking band.
Yeah, I think sometimes
you pay me, and that's how it works. And this one motherfucker, he's actually like, well, we didn't really feel like it was the best sound. That I said, dude, everybody at the venue loved it. They thought you came across clear, concise. Well, he's like, well, that's not really our sound that we were going for. I said, well, that sounds like something that you need to fix yourself. Because my job is to make you louder. That's it. I am not to color your sound. I'm not to make you grungier or more distorted or more beefy. No, that's not my job.
Yeah, I think some people forget that that it's like the music business, and they forget like the business aspect of it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
They just want like they just want to party with their friends.
Yeah, the ones that basically started to learn to play guitar to get pussy are the worst. The absolute worst. Because they either don't take their part seriously, or they pretend that they take their shit way too seriously. Like, you know, they're like, I don't know, God's gift to artistry or some shit like that. And personally, I like dealing with guitarists the most, only because, well, let's just face it, bassists are dumb, drummers are unreliable, vocalists are typically full of themselves, rhythm guitarists are usually the best ones of the bunch, and the lead guitarist is usually off in their own world sometimes. The worst that you can really expect out of guitarist is that my part's not loud enough. I mean, I'm guilty of this. I know. Like the guitar part's not loud enough. Yes, it is. It's plenty loud. Trust me. Drummer's like, oh, I needed to show up. I thought you were just gonna, you know, add my part in through software.
Software.
I can do that. Or you can actually sound good.
You know, I usually make my music in like a 120 tempo, but maybe I should try to step away from that.
Maybe you should do a 120 tempo and then play in 60.
I like that.
It actually works, dude, if you're, well, especially if you're doing metal.
I don't even know what I'm gonna call this. I think I'm gonna call it like piano metal.
Okay.
Because it's basically like piano and acoustic, or not acoustic, piano and guitar. And also
Okay.
drums. And vocals.
I need to get a wah pedal. I have not bought one recently.
Yeah, I got a Weeping Demon wah. So, I mean, it doesn't have the same sound as like a Crybaby wah, like the ones you get in like the 80s or the 70s.
Okay.
But it still sounds cool. Like, it has this, like if you play, what is it called? Like if you like upstream your guitar, or you like playing like drop B or drop C or whatever, like you can flip the switch so it focuses on the lower frequencies, and so you can get like a really like evil sound from it.
The wah that I actually want is, it's not Exciter. It's oh crap. They make the EP booster. Anyway, it's a wah that I'm really looking for used because I don't want to spend $200 on a wah. And I've noticed that the Dunlops and the Voxes, they both sound like shit nowadays.
Okay, let's see. Dude, we should work on a song together sometime.
Do what?
Work on a song together.
Oh yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, like the last person I worked with was Hannah Wallen, and so that That was pretty fun working with her because she did the singing. She also did the video part of it, and
Right.
so that might be like the best solo I ever did. It's what's the song called? Oh, The Charge of Soggy Knees.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I don't know if you heard it or not. I might have sent it to you, maybe not.
Don't think you did.
Yeah. Well, feel free to look it up after the stream. It's called Charge of Soggy Knees. Basically, the what I'm going for with this music, where I'm basically calling it like piano metal or whatever. Although I'm not quite sure if it's even going to be metal, but whatever. What I'm going for is this. Fuck, where am I? What am I going for? I just lost my train of thought.
I know that I found something that I really would rather not have heard ever in my life.
What?
Um, it's a type of music that is kind of like rock or shred, but it mostly uses like the alien scale.
Alien scale?
Alien,
Alien?
alien, or it's a AOE. Alien, it might be alien scale. Or mode, rather. And it's like nails on a chalkboard, only worse.
Oh, dude, I played this game recently with what's her face? She used to go by Sour Grape. She took her YouTube channel down, but she brought it back up. But she is NC Clark, and I played a card game with her recently. And like every single card, the game's called Ascension, and I think it is kind of like what's that other card game? Magic the Gathering. I think it is similar. But anyway, like every card in that game, it looks like an album cover, either from like a doom metal band or a technical death metal band, something like that. It's just if you just picked a random card, if you're yeah, that's what the game looks like. It looks like a random album cover generator.
That's funny. Yeah, it's referred to as Aeolian mode.
What the heck is going on? So, you hearing anything weird?
Not really.
Can you hear my guitar?
Yeah, I hear your guitar.
Is it too loud?
No, not really.
Alright, let's see. I've been practicing a lot earlier. Let's see if I can get it right now. Okay, alright. I remember where I was going with this. Like, I want this to go kind of like be a melodic, technical melodic metal.
Okay.
So kind of like a mixture of like Iron Maiden and what's that one tech death band I've been listening to a lot? Beyond Creation, something like that. Like I'm gonna have like clean vocals. I'm actually gonna have like a female vocalist, so I actually need to figure out where I'm gonna find one of those. I've been thinking about asking. She used to go by Feminthius Divine. I don't know if you remember her, but she was like this crazy radical feminist who wanted to like kill off 90% of the male population. Is that you? Or is that me? Is that you? Yeah, I'm mute.
Yeah, that was actually me.
Oh yeah. Is that actually plugged into the computer or via interface, or are you just playing and it's getting picked up by the mic?
That is my Mustang running into the 3.5 in my computer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The
So yeah,
set,
we actually could jam.
we could when I get an interface
Yeah.
because I have to use one. I have to use the microphone or I have to use the Mustang. I can't use both. So I'm guessing you're going through an interface right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What other unpopular opinions can we go through?
I don't know how shit the Nintendo Switch is.
I actually haven't played the Nintendo Switch, so yeah, I can't really comment on it.
Well, it might be a great thing. It might be a great seller.
Oh yeah, back anyway. Prometheus Divine, like that was actually just a character she played. She didn't actually wanted to. Oh yeah, she also like wrote something about like cutting off men's balls or something, and so
Oh, I remember this chick.
yeah, like even Karen Strong, she thought she was real, and she had this huge argument in somebody's, I forgot who it was, but in somebody's video, and she was having a huge argument with her in the comment section.
Okay, and she's not real or what?
No, she's not real. It was just a character she was playing.
Oh, okay.
It's funny because she actually follows me on Twitter for some reason. I'm actually surprised anybody follows me on Twitter because I just post a lot of bullshit. You know.
Yeah, that's me too.
Yeah. I guess that's kind of what Twitter's known for, so I shouldn't be that surprised.
Well, a lot of people use it as a platform to talk about one or two different subjects. I use it to post shit that I think is funny.
Let's see.
Oh, I gotta buy a new chair. This one's falling apart.
Let's see. How sure are you that Mike Pence is actually the president and Trump is just like the figurehead?
Wait, I'm gonna say that again.
How sure are you that Mike Pence is actually the president and Trump is just the front man? And I think I might have crashed.
I'm not
No, it was
sure. I don't know. Unless Pence was sitting there saying, "Hey, do all this shit before the election." I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't personally know either one of them, so I guess that's a possibility.
I think it's weird that like if they want to talk about the people that Trump appointed, like I'm pretty sure some of them are like anti-gay, anti-LGBTQ warty. But there are a lot of people who are part of that who are like talking about Trump himself And it's like, Trump was actually like pro LGBTQ rights before Bush was, or not Bush, before what's his face, Obama was. So that was an issue that he was pretty progressive on.
Yeah, he was actually progressive-ish on it, but he was more of a let state. I think he was pretty much on the let states decide kind of thing.
All right.
I'm not. No, I don't remember exactly, but I think that's where he stood.
Yeah, I think he like just showed up when I started talking about large governments and small governments. Like, I'm not gonna say that small governments are automatically good and large governments are automatically bad, but the larger government is the more you have to keep an eye on it because it just has more power to abuse. And so, like, I'm not the kind of person who's gonna like automatically just trash ANCAPs, but I do get what they're going. I do get what they're getting at. They basically want to change the system where the people who rule over you, the people who have power over you, it's just easier to keep tabs on them. It's just easier to control them because, if there's a company you don't like, you just stop. Buying
from them.
Yeah, you just stop buying from them. And if they piss off enough people, you just stop buying from them altogether. And so, in that regard, I totally understand where they're coming from. There are other things about ANCAPs I dislike.
I don't know about ANCAPs themselves, but there's certain aspects to it. Like, for example, when you're talking about...
Hold on, for the record, I don't have a problem with ANCAPs themselves. They seem like decent people. They just post like dank memes on the internet. But their idea, their outlook on life, I just disagree with.
I have to wonder though, a lot of one of the whole ideas with what I've got against the idea of ANCAP is that
you still there?
yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Because it seemed like you were in the middle of a sentence and you just stopped.
Yeah, I was, but like you're playing kind of disrupts me.
Oh, sorry.
So when you're talking about ANCAP, some of the subjects that I legitimately have a question is that if you are on ANCAP, what do you do with the mentally unstable that need to be in a psychiatric unit, and they have no family and otherwise to take care of them? What do you do with them?
Shoot them. That's basically what they would say. It's like, I mean, not necessarily just shoot them, but that's basically what's going to happen because they're all about like protecting their property with firearms, and so
no. I mean, what do you do with them as far as they need to be in a psychiatric facility? This is obviously something that's mostly state run.
Mm-hmm. But basically, they're going to say that privatize it. So like, maybe somebody will set up a organization. Maybe it'll just be privately funded. Maybe they'll accept donations to house people who don't have families who are going to pay for it, or maybe they have families but the families are too poor. That's what I'm assuming what they're going to say.
But what happens? What happens when that entity sets up? Say they set up a facility.
Uh-huh.
Who enforces the conditions by which this facility is run?
Huh. That is a good point. Like, I guess people will stop. Well, I guess like the people who are donating money to them will stop donating money to them if they feel that the.
How would they know? I mean, if the
I don't know, man. People find out a lot of things about a lot of, like the way things are now. How you have like WikiLeaks going out and about, figuring out who's up to what. Like, it's not unbelievable that somebody somewhere is going to be like a whistleblower and talk about what goes on there. A better question is, like, hold on, let me finish. Like, a better question is, if these people are mentally unstable, does that mean that the non-aggression principle does not apply to them? Because I'm not entirely sure exactly what the non-aggression principle is, but it's basically like you don't harm other people.
That's
Unless like they're trespassing on your property or something like that. Other than that, you don't harm other people. And so, if somebody is mentally unstable, do you have the right? And they haven't harmed anyone else; they're just mentally unstable. You believe they may hurt themselves or hurt other people. Do you have the right to violate the non-aggression principle to like pick them up and put them in some type of sanitarium or whatever you call it?
that's a good question. Another one is who enforces the oh crap, it was just on the end of my tongue.
The non-aggression principle?
No. When you're talking about ANCAP, you're talking about you're still talking about a form of government. And this is assuming that government does not exist as we know it. And so when you're saying the market will decide, I mean I legitimately want to know who does a person who is insane and in the care of one of these facilities, what do they just stop buying? What do they do?
That is a good question. Like that is a really good point because one of my issues with the whole ANCAP thing is like people would say like, well, I will stop buying from this company. If they have really bad service, if they displease you or whatever. But like, what about if you were never the target audience to begin with? Like, what if some rich people they want some really nice land that they can flip, but like you happen to be living on it? Like it's going to be financially beneficial for them to just somehow, some way, either remove you by like I don't know, paying you off, which would be a decent way to do it, but they can also just remove you by having you killed. You know.
Well, that would violate the non-aggression thing.
Well, that's the thing, though. I don't think they set up how that whole non-aggression principle is going to work. It's just like you want a peaceful society, so people don't kill each other.
Well,
but that's logically what we have now. People naturally don't want to kill each other, but they're just put in situations. Maybe it's like an actual physical situation, or maybe it's just like a mental state that makes it feel like the best option is to hurt somebody else.
Well, functionally, the non-aggression policy only works if everybody who adheres to it, or sorry, if everybody adheres to it voluntarily.
Yes. Which
otherwise, you have a non-aggression policy with the threat of violence if you violate that non-aggression, that non-aggression policy.
Yeah, that's a good point. What was I gonna say? Yeah, to me, it just sounds like the non-aggression principle is basically just enforced by like mob rule. That like honestly, I don't really know that much about ANCAPs. It would be nice if somebody who was an ANCAP could show up and talk to us about it. But whatever. Oh, that guy T. Hold on, I'm gonna send a message to that guy T. That guy T, we are talking about ANCAPs and the NAP, which is non-aggression principle. Please join the stream if you like. And set us ... He's probably not going to respond, but whatever. I think I was saying something about the non-aggression principle being enforced via like mob rules. Like if somebody kept breaking that rule, they piss off enough people, and they would just deal with it on their own.
Well, if
like the whole
breaks,
thing of
if someone breaks the non-aggression principle against you, then you are free to act against them.
Exactly. So like there doesn't need to be a police force to enforce it. It would just be like if somebody breaks into your house, that's them breaking the non-aggressor principle, and then you can defend yourself as you see fit. One issue with like there just not being a government at all is like they want to talk about like private like security forces, you know. Mm-hmm. So you would hire Force Co. or let's call them Security Co. Okay. You would hire Security Co. to guard your restaurant, and then like if you were ever a security guard, you would know that this probably happens all the time. Like a security guard in like a public place, like a shopping mall, or I mean that's the most experience I have. But like a shopping mall or somewhere else, something that's open to the public that has a bunch of people walking in and out of. Like, the issue you're gonna have is people who like will commit some type of crime, like they'll punch somebody, or they'll steal somebody's purse, or they'll break into somebody's car, or whatever crime they commit. They'll rape someone, they'll murder someone, whatever crime they commit. And then that person will turn around and just run off property. So if you're a security guard, you have authority on that property. But as soon as somebody's off that property, like Security Co. can't do anything about it. All they can do is just whoever's property they're on, contact them, and hopefully they're willing to deal with it. And
as far as I understand it, when you're talking about private security forces, it would be assumed that I think your insurance may cover a security agency.
Well, I'm not talking about like the actual funding of a security company. Like I'm just talking like let's just assume that you have the money for a security company, whatever kind of security company you want. Like you have like Navy SEALs. Let's say you have the money for that. You hire like Navy SEALs to guard your establishment. If somebody commits a crime on your establishment and then runs off your property, you do not have any authority. Anything that happens off property. So at that point, how are you supposed to like grab somebody? You can't actually grab somebody who's off property without permission of the person who owns that property. And so the thing about the way it is now is that you can call the police. If it's a serious crime, you can call the police, and the police will deal with it because like they are able to coordinate. And if somebody commits a heinous crime like rape or murder, it's just easier for them to like gather up a lot of information and put it together to find the person who committed that crime. But like in an ANCAP world, like if the various security companies, they can work together if they choose to. But since they're in competition with each other, they actually have less of a reason to work with each other. Whereas like the government, this is one thing like a large government is actually a benefit because they have not every reason, but they have more of a reason to work together because they're not competing with each other. Like the Sacramento Police Department isn't competing with like a neighboring police department. They just, this guy who committed this crime is now in our city. Can you send us the information? I'm like, sure, here you go. I'm not a cop, so maybe that's not exactly how it works, and hopefully it would be cool if we had Justicar on to talk about it, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. Yeah. But whatever. But I'm pretty sure is decent. My explanation is decent enough for people to understand. Like, you understand what I'm getting at, right?
Right, I get you. But what I think I've seen a lot of explanations where everybody would have their own private security force, like whoever, not your own dedicated private security force, but one that you paid to protect you.
Yeah.
And so I'm guessing that if the assailant went off property, the person who was assaulted or robbed would contact their personal security force and file a claim or whatever. And they would have to find out who it was. There was a long video on it, and it seemed to make some sort of sense at the time, but I was really tired.
The problem with that is, like, if, like, this person... Well, that's another thing about this. Like, this person, they can just go back into their house or whatever, and then they can just pay their own security force to keep out whatever security force is sent in to investigate.
Right, but, it would come down to a point of someone made an allegation, and then the consequences could be either, you've got to pay for what you stole, or pay for any medical bills or whatever. And that's the way that it was basically kind of explained. And if you're not
But
going to
why
do
would
that,
they have to do that? Oh, go on. Sorry, I guess you're about to answer my question. Go on.
because from the way that I understood it, is that the two competing forces do not want to get into a conflict status with each other. So it would behoove them to work together.
Why don't they want to get into conflict?
Well, obviously it loses money. They get into an armed altercation, and then each side loses money because they have to train more soldiers or more security guards.
Well, the thing is that wars do happen, so somebody, whether financial reasons or otherwise, feel that it's beneficial to fight a war.
Oh, you're talking about war, and I'm talking about
Well,
like personal conflict.
I mean, people do get into fist fights, people do get into knife fights, people get into gun fights, whether it's by financial benefits or some other kind of benefit, they happen. And so I think people just assume that everybody's going to be practical, and if that were the case, then yeah, maybe we would have a perfect ANCAP society, but not everybody is practical. Right. So like you're making this argument that people who are running their own, who have money to have their own security forces are just going to do what's financially beneficial for themselves. And what is financially beneficial for themselves is that everybody work things out peacefully. Like, just what I said about those gangbangers who are going to shoot each other over territory with weed, logically, it would be beneficial for everyone to just work things out peacefully, because you only have one life. And so you can get killed and have that life thrown away. You can get injured. Like, there are plenty of people who have been put into wheelchairs due to gunfights. And so now you're in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. Like, logically, most people want to avoid that. But yet, gangbangers actually still are willing to get into fist fights, gun fights, knife fights, whatever the case may be. And so, I'm not entirely sure what I'm trying to say, but
you're basically
you're basically saying, the argument they're putting forward is that it is the best idea that people work things out peacefully. But as we've seen from humanity, that not everybody is going to make the best decisions.
Yeah, it's obvious. It's human nature. I just kind of wonder, in an ANCAP society, who exactly goes to war for the benefit of the country?
No one goes to war for the benefit of the country. It's to benefit themselves financially or whatever perpetuates their existence. Like, there wouldn't be a country to go to war for. Once again, I'm not ANCAP. I don't sit there and listen to everything I have to say, so I'm not the best person to ask about this. I remember I was watching this interview about... It wasn't an interview. This guy wrote a book called Freakonomics. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about the economics of gang life. And one of the things they brought up was that... how we're talking about how it makes sense for people to work together for a peaceful solution. Mm-hmm. Well, they found out, I think it was in the 80s or whatever, they were doing this. The gangbangers who were in the higher up position, they actually did not like violence because it scares away their customers. They basically lose things in the chaos as well. They scares away their customers, they lose employees, etc., etc. So the higher ups, they did not like violence, but the people who are at the bottom, they actually did like violence because it got them noticed.
Right.
So, yeah. What should I say about that? I guess that's an interesting thing. I just let that slide on. So, crap. Oh, I'll do that. That's what I'm doing wrong. Unmute this and yeah, I'm gonna be writing some. Or I'm gonna be recording some stuff. So I think I'm gonna be like muting and unmuting myself.
Okay.
Let's see. Do you have any strong opinions about abortion?
As somebody who has gone through an abortion with somebody else, I can say that it's a very touchy. It's like a not a touchy subject, but it's a subject that I don't like, but I understand it.
Hmm. What should I say about it? When I can, I like to talk about whatever subject I'm talking about. I like to talk about it in like practical, sterile, non-emotional terms. So I feel like that is the best way to come to a solution. And to me, it seems like you have like the pro-choice side that says we should have this decision. This is a decision that we should be able to make for X, Y, Z reasons. And then you have like the pro-life side, who they're saying this shouldn't be a decision that you make for X, Y, and Z reasons. And to me, it doesn't seem like either side is like, yay, we like abortions, more abortions are great. And so I think what we should be trying to do, like both people who are pro-life and pro-choice, they really should be trying to come together and figure out a way to actually like decrease the need for abortion. Because I've actually heard, I haven't looked it up, so this might be bullshit, but I actually heard that teen pregnancy and abortion are both on all-time low. So like people are actually whatever it may be, maybe it's comprehensive education on this topic, or maybe just people aren't having sex for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
So, but whatever reason is, like the amount of abortions actually going down. The number of teen pregnancies is also going down. Because one thing that people like to talk about, like the pro-choice people,
Mm-hmm.
they love to talk about like if abortion was just like if it was just banned, if people could not get an abortion, then like we're just have like a bunch of babies. Just people are just gonna keep popping out babies. And so that's obviously not what I want because there's just a lot of people as is. I think there's like 7.5 billion of us. I think we're still heading up, but forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah. So if we can figure out a way where people like not only do they not get abortions, but they don't get pregnant to begin with when they don't want to be pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be the best for everyone, regardless of what side. I mean, obviously there are gonna be people who aren't gonna be happy. Like there are people who are on the pro-life side who are just they're religious fundamentalists. I'm not saying that every person who's pro-life is like a religious fundamentalist, but that is a side that religious fundamentalists tend to slide on.
Well, just because you're pro-life does not mean you're not also pro-choice. And
I'm not quite done yet.
Okay.
So, crap, I lost my train. Yeah. So basically, I mean, there are people like I was saying, like who are very religious, and that's the reason for being pro-life. And so those people, they're not gonna be happy if like people are able to just have sex out of wedlock and still remain without getting pregnant or anything, no downside. So they're probably gonna be upset that this is basically gonna encourage people to be promiscuous or whatever, and like those people aren't gonna be happy, which fine. Unfortunately, I wish everybody could be happy, but whatever. I think those are really the only people who are actually. Oh, and also the people like I think like Amy Schumer said that she never had an abortion, but she wished she had. But then again, like I didn't actually read the article itself or what she said it herself because that might have been taken out of context. But anyway, there are people who are like they're proud they had an abortion, and so those people aren't gonna be happy either. I just if we can figure out a way to just to I think that's the label I would put my label myself on this subject. I'm a obsolescentist. Just make abortion obsolete, so we don't have to like make laws banning it. We don't need to like keep funding abortion clinics, or I heard we can't. The government doesn't technically fund abortion clinics, but they fund people who perform abortions or whatever. I don't know what kind of like weird Gordian knot is going on there, but whatever. I think that would be the best for everybody involved, or at least for the most people involved.
I think that if you don't want an abortion, you don't have to have one.
I agree.
Um, there's really not that many people that just go out and use abortion as a form of birth control.
I think it's too expensive to do that, but
now there are people who have done it. I'm not saying that they do not exist, but those people are relatively low. But when you're talking about in terms of pro-life people, basically saying, I don't want there to be, no consequences for going out and having sex. Yeah, that's a retarded argument to make because it doesn't work. But on the other hand, saying that abortion is basically what's keeping our population numbers down is also stupid. Like, we'd have an influx of population because all these people were not getting abortions. Like, well, I thought you said there weren't that many people getting abortions in the beginning. So how could it influence our population numbers?
Yeah, like my opinions on abortion, it has more to do with like the way people talk about it, the way people view it, and like whenever people like a lot of pro-choice people, whenever they talk about abortion, it really seems like they're of the opinion that it's impossible for a woman to not. Yeah, it's impossible for a woman to not get pregnant. Like they'll say something like they'll say that without abortion they're just gonna have like a lot of like babies or whatever. It's like like do you not understand that there is a way to not get pregnant, to not have kids, and to also not get an abortion? Like that's not an absurd statement.
Right.
It really just makes it seem like they don't want women to have any kind of responsibility because they're just automatically assuming that women are just incapable of not getting pregnant for whatever method they choose. Like it's impossible to not get pregnant.
I think that when you're talking about a woman's right to choose, I think that laws need to be leveled equally as far as men as well. If a woman has the right to decide when she wants to be a mother, then I think a dude should have the right to decide whether or not he wants to be a father. And getting, sucked into that whole thing is one of the things I think that the, divorce rates are so fucking high.
You know what? Like, I don't consider myself liberal or conservative. I prefer not to have any kind of labels. And, like, that label like I told you about as regard to abortion, like an obsolescentist, that's not something I'm actually serious about. I'm not going to, like, go around telling people that I'm an obsolescentist. But I don't call myself like left wing or right wing. But when it comes to procreation, Um, well, let's see. When it comes to like making children, I am kind of right wing. I feel that like women shouldn't have like safe surrender sites. Women shouldn't even be able to like give up a child for adoption. I just feel that we should like give people enough information, enough knowledge, enough resources. I don't know about giving it to them, but it's just having it available to them somehow, meaningful way, that they just don't have kids to begin with. And so, like, there are people who talk about how, like, since women can like give up children for adoption and give up children for in safe surrender sites, that men should have like legal paternal surrender. Although there are people who talk about legal paternal surrender as in like paper abortions, which to me it doesn't make any sense to attach that to abortions when it makes more sense to attach that to safe surrender sites because that's more of that's because after like a what they call a paper abortion, like the child doesn't get killed. It's just this man is no longer financially or physically responsible for that child, and so as far as like child custody and like child rearing and laws associated with that, I feel like I'm kind of more like hardcore about it. I feel like that if I feel like both men and women should be treated the same because there's really no reason to treat them differently because this is a situation where men are treated differently because they are men because like they have financial support or what is it child support that like men are expected to pay, but like we don't expect women to pay child support. We just assume that whatever money a woman gets, like it's just assumed that she's going to spend that on her kid. And so I think that the way we treat women should be the same way we treat men in that regard. In that, like, if a woman can't walk away from a kid, and neither can a man. And so, like, if a woman just like handed off her kid to, let's say, her her sis, she hands off this woman. She's like 18. She has a kid out of wedlock. Doesn't know who the father is, and she decides, you know what? Don't want to be a kid anymore, or don't want to be a mother anymore. Hands her kid off to her older sister, and then just skips town. Like I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's illegal to just abandon a child. And so there's going to be the punishment that goes along with it. And I personally feel that we should do the same thing with men, because you just make so if that actually is their child, there should be some type of test so you can actually prove that that is indeed his child. Because just the way human beings are created, it's just you basically are pretty sure that that child belongs to that woman, but you're not entirely sure that man. So basically, I think it's just men and women should be treated the same as in this situation. That if a man abandons a child, he just be thrown in jail. If a woman abandons that child, she should be thrown in jail. And so I think it's bizarre that for some reason we have this different situation where if a woman abandons a child, she's thrown in jail. But if the man, if he has to pay child support, and if he has to pay child support, he gets thrown in jail. Like we have these two different standards for the exact same situation.
Yeah, we do, and I'm basically what I'm in agreement of is that if a woman can give up her her parenthood that easily, then men should too. Now, I think that both laws should apply to men and women equally. If a man or if a woman cannot give up her child, then a man should not be either, or should not be able to either. I'm just saying that the laws that are applicable to you as a parent should be evil or even across the playing field. Now, if you want to say that a woman can end her parenthood in multiple ways, that is true. Um, she does have the ability to do that, and abortion is one, adoption's another, and baby safe's a third. However, like I said, men do not have any of those options. And if there is not some sort of response, then you've got an uneven society and a somewhat resentful society.
Yeah, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just doing some guitar work right now. Let me see how it came out. That's really low. Yeah, you can hear it though. And let's see. Like, abortion's kind of a heavy topic, so I think it's time to move on to another
Yeah.
unpopular opinion. How do you feel about Israel?
Um, I think they're very Jewish and they like to boil fish.
They like to boil fish. I don't know how many like alt writers like I'm in the Ladies on. I don't know if you heard this show, but it's called Ladies on Topic.
Hmm.
It's on YouTube, and like they do this every week, and it's with NC Clark and Missy J. So they basically just talk about like random stuff. It's not really random stuff. They talk about a lot of stuff that has to do with like men's rights, like women's stuff, feminism, the local happening, not local happenings, but recent happenings, I should say, stuff like that.
Right.
And so, yeah, they have their own Discord chat, and so I'm not quite sure how many of them are actually, how many of her fan base are in that. There actually are like alt right or whatever. And so, like a while back, like somebody posted a video of like I think it was like a game show or whatever, and the contestant was asked which country has the most doctors, and the guy responded with, well, whatever country has the most Jews. Like you go to a family event, either it's an uncle or an aunt or a dad or someone there's a doctor, someone there will take care of you. Someone against Israel, and like the game show was like, yeah, that's correct. Israel's the right answer. And so I replied, the alt right is angry. The reason why alt right is angry is because the Jews are the master race. And somebody responded. I was just like shit posting, and so someone else responded with, what did they respond with? Oh, they're like, the alt right is just they're just worried about Jewish supremacy, and I responded with, but Jews are supreme.
Okay.
Yeah, you can relax. The goyim don't know. Let's see. Oh, let's make sure. Yeah, still seeing. Still showing. It's going awfully slow though. Alright, can you see what I see?
Hold on. Let me go back to. Yeah. England.
Cool. Let's go boost.
Randall. Yay.
You like Randall?
I used to like Randall.
Oh, what did they do to you?
Nothing terrible. It's just I'm not really fond of their sound. If I'm gonna go high gain, I usually like either Orange or Mesa. That are, if I'm in a really rare form, like an Engel Fireball.
Say Fireball?
Engel, ENGL, Fireball.
Alright.
Same thing that, was it Ramstein uses? Or used?
Ramstein.
Ramstein, whatever.
I don't know how it's pronounced, but I just like calling it Ramstein. You know, speaking of Israel, I think it would be better if they placed them somewhere else. Like, I don't know why. Like, let's. Like, they want a safe place for Jews. Let's place them in an area where they'll be surrounded by people who hate them. That's just genius. That's really my own. I mean, I don't know much about Israel, but that's basically my own criticism of them.
Yeah.
Dude, we should give them Florida.
Give them Florida?
Yeah.
I think they already have Florida.
Yeah, they need more of it. There's still too many Jews in Israel. Give them Florida.
Okay, Universal and Disney are both in Florida. I'm pretty sure they have most of Florida.
Crap. That's what I don't like about this program. Sometimes it just... Actually, my previous programs are doing this as well. Like, I'll record something, and then I'll try to play it back, and I won't hear any sound. Like, it's recorded, it's just not playing back.
Right. I tried Amplitude, and I'm like, no.
I actually have Amplitude, but No, I don't have Amplitude. I have Revolver, which is by PV. Yeah, I still have it, but I tried to install it with Sonar, but it didn't work.
Huh. Yeah, most of the stuff that you get with the Amplitude free version is really shit. You have to wind up paying for everything else.
Here comes the schism, man. So I'm assuming you're feeling well enough to play Pathfinder, correct?
Yeah. When?
I asked Hannah because like Hannah has like one of the busiest schedules, so whenever she's free, that's basically when we're gonna play. But I said something about like Wednesday the 15th, so possibly there, but she hasn't gotten back to me. Oh man, we only got 30 more minutes till the February.
Shit. If it's on a Wednesday, it's gonna be rough for me because that's
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Huh.
My wife is off those days, Tuesday and Wednesday.
So your wife is off, and then you do what?
I said my wife is off on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and that's usually the days that we go to the doctor.
Okay. Like, are you gonna be there like all day or what?
Whenever we do go, like if you had planned on making it recurring.
It's not recurring. It's just a one-off.
Oh well. It would have to be late, like late at night.
Ooh, huh? Late. Yeah. All right. I'll try to figure out a better time, a better day. But yeah, I'll talk to Anna about it.
Oh Oh man, I got so mad the other day. I got I found an amplifier that I used to own, like the actual one. It was a 1970. It was a 1973 Bassman 10. Found it at Guitar Center. It was the actual one that I used to own.
How'd they get it?
I lost it in an apartment complex.
Oh. Like somebody stole it or what happened?
Basically, in order to, I guess, recoup their losses, they wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me have my stuff back because they thought that I skipped rent. Well, they took all my shit, and I don't know where it went from there. But after that, after that, I don't know where it went, but I found it in a Guitar Center nearby, and I did not have the $300 and something, $400 something to get it back.
Huh.
Made me so damn mad. I did sit and play it for an hour though.
Huh.
Yeah, and the weird thing is that they sent me a message a long time ago, like the apartment complex, saying that I still owed them such and such money, and I was like, no, I don't owe you a dime. I actually called them. I said, you need to take that off. I said, I don't owe you a dime. They're like, and what exactly makes you think that? I said, because you took all of my possessions in lieu of payment. That's exactly how the Texas law works.
Oh.
If you, say for example, someone owes you money, and you're not going to give their stuff back until they pay you. Well, you are actually accepting whatever it is that they've got in lieu of payment, no matter what the value is. So, say for example, I owed you money, but you had a stick of my gum.
Okay.
I owed you $500, but you're not going to give my gum back until I pay you $500. Hypothetically, you've taken that stick of gum in lieu of $500.
All right. Sounds like a bizarre thing to do.
Yeah, it's a bizarre thing to do, but it's the way the law is written. So if you want your money back, in order to have a leg to stand on, you have to give their stuff back.
Alright.
Now, I don't know about other state laws, but that's the way it works in Texas. I don't even know why I still have these string trees on this damn guitar.
String trees?
Yeah.
What are string trees?
Look down at the end of your headstock. You should see one or two metal things in the dead middle that the strings go underneath before they go into the...
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about now, but yeah, my guitar doesn't have those.
Well, when you've got staggered tuners, you don't need those anymore.
Oh, okay.
I've got staggered tuners, and I never bother to take these off.
Very bluesy. Oh man. Yeah, well, like I said, I thought at the end of this I was gonna have at the end of like 1 hour, 2 hours, I was gonna have like a full song done. I don't even know why I kid myself. Oh, well, I hope whoever watches this in the future has fun watching it.
I don't know. I've been
Oh,
known to like.
fuck. Kelty Runesinger showed up. I don't know how long ago, so I wasn't looking at the chat. But whatever. Huh. Let's see this. E3.
Ugh. I can't wait until they come out with more amplifiers that actually have send and receive data on them. Like my Mustang, it can receive data, but yeah, it can receive data, it can't send it.
Okay.
Which is why I can't hook it up by USB. Well, I mean, I can't play it by USB anyway.
Alright.
I have to go through this stupid 3.5. I just got The Witcher 3 last night. I had not played it. I had not played it until like last night. It is actually really good.
Yeah, lately the game I've been playing, like, I don't consider myself a gamer because most of the games I've been playing are like games like I've been playing since I was a kid. Like one of the games I just bought recently was Final Fantasy IX.
Right?
Yeah, I played that game a little bit, but what game I recently started playing was Neverwinter Nights, and I started playing. I beat a while back. I beat was it Shadows of Undertone? That's one of the chapters they have for it. Another one that I started playing was what is it called? Oh, Hordes of Underdark. And honestly, that might be my favorite game.
I've been, I think the last game I bought, I returned on Steam because it was so ass. It was one of the Splinter Cells, and I didn't even really get a chance to play it because 5 minutes in and it's already crashing. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I don't care. I don't care. I wasn't that super psyched about playing the game in the first place. And I'm pretty sure I could fix it or find a way to fix it, but I ain't doing it.
Yeah, I have a funny story about Splinter Cell. The main character, his name is Sam Fisher, right?
Yeah.
Well, like in his backstory, he's a Navy SEAL, and so as you may or may not know, Navy SEALs are really good in the water because they're United States Navy SEALs, And so a friend of mine was playing the game. He was like, "Okay, well, this is water part. I can just like dive in the water and see if I can sneak around." He dives into the water and then immediately drowns and dies.
That is nice. That is so awesome. I forgot what movie I was watching. It was a long time ago, but it was like a war movie, like one of the modern ones,
Uh,
and they literally did it just like Call of Duty. They had Call of Dutyized this war movie, and it's like this one guy's jumping on a fucking grenade. They get like this top-down view of these SOCRs, like, you know, with these miniguns, and they're just like opening up on these insurgents, and it's got this top-down view, and all the bullets are flying everywhere, and it looks really cool. And I'm like, oh my god, this is so Call of Duty. The only thing that they missed with the Call of Duty thing was like the barrel aiming down the screen, like they did in Doom. I was like, this is so cheesy, it's funny. See, I will watch shit movies just because they're shit. Just to laugh at them.
ah, come on.
There's a friend of mine telling me, have you ever seen the movie The Knowing?
No. To be honest, I don't really watch that many movies.
Well, then you're not going to be able to relate to any of this story, so it's okay.
Let's see if there's anybody else in the chat. I don't think anybody's watching, so I doubt it. Huh. This is weird. Every time. Hey, what got you into metal?
Do what?
What got you into metal?
Oh, man, I'd tell you, probably Metallica a long time ago. That was probably back in, I want to say 97, 96, 97. Nope, it was before then. It was like in 94. Because I actually started playing guitar in 95. So, yeah, it was Metallica. That didn't last too long, though. I got into mostly like, mostly like Norwegian black metal. What got you into metal?
Well, I started out like when I was like in elementary school. I listened to a lot of rap, which probably shouldn't have been listening to at such a young age, but whatever. I was listening to it, and then then I went to junior high. I was on some some field trip, and it's like some dude handed me his CD player because we had like portable CD players back then. We don't have they didn't have those newfangled MP3 players or whatever, and so he had me listening to Godsmack, and so that's basically like, I think it may have been like the first time I listened to hard rock, and then after that, like in one of our class, like math class or something, like the teacher let us listen to the radio, and like people turned like to K-Win or whatever, which is a local like pop and R&B station. And so somebody was like, "Oh, we should turn to the rock station." It's like, "Oh, it's so much better." I'm like, "All right." And I forgot what happened after that. But when I went home, I started listening to the rock station. And I was like, "Oh, I actually like this kind of stuff." I mean, like they were playing stuff like Metallica and Aerosmith back then. I don't know what they play now because I don't listen to the radio. But back then, they were playing like Aerosmith, Metallica, like Black Sabbath, stuff like that. And so that's basically kind of how I started inching my way slowly to like heavy metal. And during high school, what I would do is I would borrow a bunch of people's music CDs. Like I started out listening to, that's another thing they play. They play like Korn and Disturbed, and I'm pretty sure some people argue how metal those bands were, but to me they're metal, they're new metal, whatever. I'm not gonna argue with anyone. But yeah, I would ask to like borrow a bunch of CDs. Like I borrowed like a Slipknot CD, a Disturbed CD, Korn CD. What else? Oh yeah, I also like borrowed somebody's like Metallica CD. It was, what were the bands Oh yeah, I borrowed Metallica's. What was it called? Some kind of Saint Anger. I borrowed Saint Anger from some dude in my gym class.
Right.
And that, honestly enough, that was like part of my introduction to Metallica. And at the time, I really liked that album. I was like, I was on this like family trip to like Monterey Bay because we're in the Monterey, and we stopped by the Monterey Bay Aquarium. And so like the entire time that trip, I was listening to that album on loop. And then, but another album he actually let me borrow was Megadeth's "Rust in Peace, Polaris." And the funny thing about it was like the guy I borrowed it from, like he was really into like heavy metal. He was specifically into 80s metal, and I was probably like 17 at the time. And so I was talking to him about, I don't know how, I think I might have heard of Saint Anger from somewhere, at least one of their songs. And so I asked him if I can borrow the CD, and he's talking about how like he really hated that song, the album. And so like I asked him to borrow his Saint Anger CD, and also asked him to borrow a Megadeth CD. And so he was like, "All right, you know what? You can just have Saint Anger, but I want my Megadeth album back." And I was like, "All right." And so, like I said, it was Saint Anger, and it was "Rest in Peace, Polaris," let me borrow. And so, like, before that, I was still listening to metal, but most of the metal I've been listening to was, like, 90s metal and, like, early 2000s metal. So it was, like, Slipknot, Korn, Disturbed, stuff like that. And so, at that point, that's when I started delving more and more into, like, 80s metal. And so, like, I listened to Rest in Peace Polaris, like, on the way back from our family trip. And, I think that's when it starts like to click with me about like what music was supposed to be. Like to me, it's like I realized that a lot of music had a point to it. Now, to be fair, every time I listen to a song, I don't always know what the song is about. But I just actually realized that wow, songs actually are about something, you know. And it was like listening to Holy Wars: The Punishment Dude for the first time. I realized, oh wow, this is about a war, you know. So it may be simple, but like I just realized that yeah, music had a message, it had a point, it was saying something, you know. And so after that point, like I didn't really listen to pop music that much before, but I'm definitely not gonna listen to it now because a lot of that stuff was just like very vacuous. I didn't want to listen to it. So yeah, from then on, I started listening to like more and more like 80s music, and like he also let me. That same guy actually also let me borrow his Led Zeppelin So, I mean, some people consider Led Zeppelin metal. I consider them more like hard rock, although some people refer to them as arena rock. But yeah, he let me borrow that. I think he also let me borrow some AC/DC. So he's that guy. He actually introduced me to a lot of like older music, older metal, older hard rock, and so that's basically how I got into this kind of music.
I remember listening to like was it Pantera and Kid Rock, and we'd be me and a buddy we'd be listening to like Pantera, Kid Rock, Nine Inch Nails, while playing Twisted Metal on PlayStation, and drinking Dr. Pepper and smoking weed.
Legalize it.
That's what we do after school. I mean, we were pretty much losers, so I mean, we'd do that. We'd play some guitar, and that was about it. That was like the extent of my entire, I don't know, 6th grade year, 7th grade year.
I was doing that.
There was one lady came out. I was listening to. I want to say it was AC/DC in a parking lot, and this lady, long dress, long hair, comes up and tells me I'm going to hell for listening to that.
You're listening to AC/DC?
Yeah.
Well,
and
you're on the highway to hell.
I said it was actually a whole lot of Rosie. And so I told her, I said, well, I guess now that you've heard it too, you're coming with me.
Have you heard Burn in Hell by Twisted Sister?
Probably.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it.
Are you singing that with a British accent?
Oh, yeah.
They're not British.
No, I'm not. But
No, they're not British either.
Oh, that's actually, they are kind of, they do kind of sound Cockney.
Yeah. I heard they actually started the whole glam rock thing. Or let's say glam metal. I think glam rock is more like a David Bowie thing. They started like in the late 70s before like the hair metal bands took off. And so they're basically saying they were like just dressing in drag. And then finally the whole hair metal thing took off with all these other bands like
they called it hair metal, but they called it hair metal, but it was just hair rock.
Yeah, oh, so you're one of those people.
I mean, did you see Alice Cooper? Okay, that's a bad example. Did you see Ozzy Osbourne doing any of that cross-dressing shit?
Yeah.
Did you? Because I don't remember it.
What was that one song? I just call it like a Shot in the Dark. That's kind of like a hair metal song, and like I think in the music video, he's like he has hair all teased and everything. I don't know if he was cross-dressing, but he looked rather feminine, quite fetching. Come on.
I'd like to put some David Gilmour sounding stuff together. That would be awesome. I love my Stratocaster. It's so awesome. It's my best friend.
That's correct.
I waited long enough for the motherfucker.
Alright, I'm gonna do like part of the piano and then I'm gonna call it a day. I wasn't planning on going this long. I'm gonna unplug the guitar because I'm not gonna.
I'm probably gonna stay up all night because if I go to sleep, then I won't want to get up and go to the doctor in the morning.
All right.
That's just me, though. I've got to go. See, I'm not quite done with my ear thing yet.
Oh, okay.
I've lost like some hearing in my right ear, apparently.
Oh, that's misfortunate.
And so they're going to take a look and see what's on the back of my eardrum to see what might be causing it.
How often do you go to the shooting range?
Never.
Really? I just assumed that you go at least somewhat regularly. I mean, it is Texas.
I shoot guns a lot. I just don't go to the shooting range.
Oh, and where do you go to shoot guns?
My backyard.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, that's what I meant. I didn't actually mean like literally like a professional shooting range, just a place where you go out and you shoot guns. That's what I meant.
Oh, well, that's not what would cause it. I mean, I've got
well,
hearing
I mean,
protection, and I've also got suppressors.
Oh yeah, suppressors. Yeah. So how do you feel about like people trying to ban silencers? I mean, they're not trying; they've actually done.
Well, they're not silencers. They're actually called suppressors.
Yeah, I know, but like a lot of people, I guess the words colloquially refer to them as silencers.
Okay.
Well, how do you feel about them?
I think they're perfectly fine and legal, and the reason why I think they're perfectly fine and legal is because if they are in your house and you have a silencer on, suppressor. You don't want to go deaf because when you fire a gun inside your house, you are going to go deaf, and so are they.
Wow. Yeah, Bill Burr has a joke about like he said something like firing a 357 because he's in some like city in the South. It might have been like Atlanta or something. Like telling this joke. Where you talking about how like he went to his dude's house who this joke takes place in the South as well. This dude he goes to like a buddy's house. And like basically the premise of this joke is that he's supposed like you should get like a smaller round, like you shouldn't get like a 357 Magnum because he was hanging out with his buddy and he's like he said, "Oh, you ever fight a 357?" I was like, "No." He's like, all right. He comes back with like a 357 Magnum, and he tells him to just fire it at the at this broken down car he has in his backyard. And like before he continues with the story, he just stops and says, "I have to point out that anywhere else in the world I tell this joke, everyone is already laughing." Because they think what's going on is just crazy. Just that some random guy will give you a gun and just shoot it at a car he has just parked in his backyard. Anyway, he goes on and says that like you have like a 357, you're gonna fire a gun, you're gonna fire it, and the next thing you're gonna hear is ring.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about some of the gun control arguments. Well, just get a shotgun for home protection. Yeah. It makes me think these people have never, ever even seen a shotgun in real life. Have you ever looked at the barrel of a 12 gauge? Have you seen the diameter of this fucker? You can damn near fit a quarter inside it. Have you looked at a normal sized bullet, like a 5.56?
You know, I don't think anyone who doesn't know anything. Like, to be fair, like, bullets are kind of complicated the way they're labeled.
Yeah.
So I understand people who don't regularly fire guns or don't look into not understanding ammunition. Because, like, if I said something about, like, a 22 long rifle, like, I'm pretty sure people who don't know anything, they're going to think, like, it's like a bottlenecked round that's, like, designed for, like maybe like a hunting rifle or assault rifle, something like that. But that's basically like a pistol round. You know what I'm saying? Although obviously there are some rifles actually use that like little tiny 22 round.
Personally, I think if you were going to do like gun control, personally, I mean, if you're going to do home defense, I think it should be illegal to do it with a 22.
Illegal to do with the 20.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I mean, you want to do some damage, but you don't want to be an asshole. If you shoot somebody with a 22, you are a fucking asshole, no matter what the reason.
The thing that's funny about it is, like, I'm pretty sure there's some people who think that, like, alright, we'll allow people to have guns to defend themselves, but only, like, shoot those little 22 pistols. I was like, you know, if someone actually said that, I would tell them that, well, you're going to cause more people to get hurt, because if you're in a public place and somebody gets attacked and they start firing at each other, you're going to end up with more rounds flying through the air, because it's going to take more rounds to put down whoever's attacking you. It's going to take more rounds to neutralize that person. Because, like, I heard the Yankee Marshal talking about this, and how what causes people to stop firing at you is, like, either you, like, critically wound them or you kill them, so they're physically unable to continue attacking you. Or, like, they just you put them into enough pain where they stop firing and you decide that, you know, I'm either going to surrender or I'm going to run away. And so firing at somebody with the 22 isn't going to cause as much pain, it's not going to cause as much bleeding enough to dissuade this person from attacking you.
Here's the deal. When you shoot somebody, the first thing that goes through their mind is not, ouch. If they feel anything at all, the first thing that goes through their mind is, hot! Oh my god, that's hot! Normally, it feels like a thud, and you don't feel it until you flex.
Huh, alright.
And I go back to these people talking about defend yourself with a shotgun. They have no idea how loud a shotgun is inside a house. A 12 gauge will go through an engine block with a slug at close range. And also, most people's houses, they don't have long corridors. You know, they're kind of cramped. So going through with like a, I don't know, 12 gauge long barrel is the antithesis of like a good idea. You walk around, I mean, you've got like 3 feet of barrel in front of you. The first time anybody sees it, they're gonna just like grab the damn barrel.
No, just do it. Just do what like Uncle Biden tells you to do. Just anybody comes to attack you, just get a double shotgun, point outside, fire 2 blasts. Whoever's out there is gonna bother you.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a great idea.
Oh my god! These are the people who are punching gun control.
Yeah.
God. Oh wow!
Just get a shotgun. Just get a shotgun. Yeah, well, I'm gonna get a shotgun, and you know what kind of shotgun I'm gonna get? I'm gonna get a semi-automatic.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna get pissy about semi-automatic shotguns.
Yeah.
It's a fully semi-automatic shotgun. Fully semi-automatic.
Yeah. Fully semi. Yeah, I get it now. Yeah, I think what's his face? Steven Crowder. I don't know if you're a fan of him or you've heard of him, but he did make this video about like trying. He went. I forgot where he was. He might have been like on a college campus or whatever. He like wanted to like jokingly get people to sign up to for common sense gun control. He would ask them a series of questions. And if they knew about guns, he would like shoo them away because he didn't want them signing the petition.
Right.
But people who didn't know anything about guns, he would want them to sign the petition.
Right.
And like he had a bunch of he had this table. It was like full of guns. He had like a row of ammunition, and one of the ammunition he had was like this. What is it? It's a 223, like a rifle round.
Yeah.
And like people were talking about like a hunting round, and he was like, "Oh, you wouldn't want to use this." He points at the 308, so you wouldn't want
Yeah.
to use this for hunting. Who needs that? You should use the 223. And people were
Right.
like, "Yeah, you should." But like somebody who actually knows what they're talking about was like, "Well, actually, you want to use like the bigger round for hunting. That one's actually better for hunting than the 223."
Yeah. Most of them thought that the big round, that the 308 went with the AR.
Why is this thing not working?
My dad actually told me a story about when they were when he was renovating a pawn shop. He found a Thompson special hidden under the damn counter. I was like, that is awesome. He said the magazine, the barrel magazine still worked on it too.
Awesome.
It's like, yep, go to work, find a Tommy gun.
Huh. I don't know why, but this thing is not copying and pasting.
I have not used sonar, so I don't know. You might want to check out Ableton and see if you like it any better.
Ableton.
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
I'm gonna warn you now, though. It's kind of a bulky program.
Whatever, I'll work on the drums later. If I was like recording something with a guitar or something, then the drums would be more useful because I haven't got the metronome working. Let's see. Play.
And I can tell you right now, I will never buy a smart gun.
Why not?
It's like drinking games. There's something coming between me and my drinking. In the same way, nothing should come between me and firing a fucking bullet. Except for the safety.
Speaking of drinking games, there's a show called New Girl, and they play this like really complicated drinking game called True American. And like I cannot explain to you the rules because it just looks really chaotic. But that game looks like it's just really funny to watch. So yeah, feel free to look up like YouTube videos of it. Type in New Girl, True American. It should pop up.
I don't know, man. I gave up on drinking games when I was like 25.
Well, I mean, I'm not asking you to play the game. It's just
No,
watching it is funny.
Like the last one that I played was the little elf on your beer. Like you had to take the fucking man off the top of your beer and set him to the side, or some shit like that. I don't know. I was fucking drunk.
I actually don't drink, so I don't know anything about drinking games.
I threw his ass off my beer and killed him.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't drink anymore either. But I tell you, I used to be an alcoholic from hell.
Hmm. Yeah, one thing about me not drinking is that when I tell people that, I think people assume that I had some type of drinking problem. If there's some like reason as to why I don't drink, like I just don't drink. I come from a family that doesn't really drink. That's basically my reason for not drinking. It doesn't really seem interesting to me.
I didn't drink until I was older, and then I got into it whole hog. And then I wound up in the hospital. So that's when I stopped.
Alright.
Let me tell you something. When it tastes the same going up or going down as it does coming up, you drink too much.
Oh, that's D flat for some reason.
D flat. D flat.
What are you singing?
I have no idea.
Uh,
I think it was Inspector Gadget.
that'll be A.
Oh man, I got this little tuner. It is so awesome. It's what's it? Polytune clip. And it just clips to the end of the headstock. And it tells you if you're in tune. It is so awesome.
Hey, I got something like that. It's called a what's it called?
Snark.
F zone.
Oh, F zone.
Yeah, F zone. FT 8000.
I have to wonder, when did these fucking tuners become so damn expensive? I mean, like, I've not been able to find a decent tuner for less than like $30. That was not shit.
I don't know.
I think mine was like 45. I'm like, that's a lot of money just for a tuner.
Yeah, I don't tell you, man. I don't buy tuners, so.
Hey, do me a favor real quick and roll back the volume on your guitar.
I don't have my guitar plugged in.
Oh, okay. So that's not what it is. You might have a power conditioner issue.
Yeah, that's correct. Alright. Oh, who said this soloed? Let's flip this. No. There we go. Alright, something's gone wrong.
Something has gone terribly wrong.
That's what's going on.
Terribly, terribly wrong.
Okay. Yep, that's what's wrong.
Batman.
Oh, there's a move it. I zone out way too much.
You did what too much?
I zone out way too much.
It's okay. I do too. Wonder whatever happened to King of Pole. I have no idea.
What is it? E4? Oh, this supposed to be D.
So what got you into playing guitar?
Let's see. Honestly, it'd probably be like System of a Down, cause like I was listening to System of a Down, and my dad, he showed up randomly. He had like this U-Haul truck full of like guitars, and I was like pretending to play the guitar to System of a Down. My dad was like, "Oh, you want to start playing guitar?" I'm like, "Sure." And so he goes to the shop and buys me this the Squire Bullet. I think he got it for like $100 or something. He said it was like a $200 guitar, but he got it for $100. I didn't really care to look up the actual price of it, but whatever. And so that was when I was like 14. But like every time I looked up like guitar lessons online, it always showed me like chords, like how to play like a C major chord. And I wanted to be metal. I wanted to be like heavy metal. So I didn't want to like I didn't think I was gonna need chords. And so like I kind of just like gave up for a while because I wasn't learning what I wanted. I wasn't learning what I wanted to learn. And Later on, like I think like when I turned like 17, I actually started like going to like I used to go to church all the time, and then they offer like free guitar lessons, and so I went there, and they said they wanted to do the same thing. They want to teach me chords. I'm like I don't really want to learn chords, and so I left, and then actually started taking private guitar lessons. Actually, before that, I was actually just noodling around on my guitar. Before that, so I did learn something, and so I started taking private guitar lessons. And this guy was like, he was a metalhead. Like he liked Megadeth, he liked Metallica, he liked Black Sabbath. He had like I think he had like a Gibson Flying V or something. So like, this was like a heavy metal dude. And then what happened was he told me that like chords are like very important for heavy metal, and so that is when I actually like learned the chords and actually like remembered them. So yeah, that's basically what got me into heavy metal. Or sorry, playing guitar. So yeah, I actually did start late, like when I was like 17, and I think a lot of people, especially like a lot of people who are like famous, they started playing guitar when they were like let's see when yeah they started playing guitar when they were like a lot younger, like maybe like 8 years old, maybe some a little bit older, a little bit younger than that.
Yeah.
What got you into playing guitar?
Depression mostly.
Oh, wow.
My first guitar was one hell of a piece of shit harmony from a pawn shop.
Hmm.
And I actually had the same problem with chords, but I actually discovered tablature pretty early. And then I realized the chord formations were not really that hard. At least for me. I've got large fingers, so it doesn't really, well, I wouldn't say I have large fingers. I've got long fingers. And so when I make a chord formation, it's easier for me to like, do more than one string at a time with one finger. And I wanted to do metal all the time. And I did metal all the time until I discovered Stevie Ray Vaughan. And then I realized, wow, I am not shit. And then one day I decided, hey, I'm going to try that shit. And about 6 months later, I learned a song.
Cool.
Yeah, that's terrible. But all that shit that people were trying to tell me, see, I was like self-taught. I mean, I didn't take any lessons whatsoever.
Huh.
But a lot of people tried to help me along the way. And then I realized, how much the fundamentals actually mean. Especially when you're talking about scales and shit like that. Also got into Hendrix.
Hendrix.
Oh, yeah. If there was somebody who influenced Vaughn, it was Hendrix.
Yeah. Let's see. What else can I do?
But yeah, man, those Squire bullets, man, they've got some nice necks on them. bodies are, you know, shit, but the necks are nice.
Yeah, what I thought was funny is when I... What the hell? What is that? Yeah, like, when I started listening to, like, Megadeth and Metallica and Iron Maiden and all that stuff, like, every time I told people I liked those bands, people were like, really? They're old.
Ain't nothing wrong with old bands.
I don't know. I just thought it was funny that they kept telling me that those bands were old. Oh, no, that's what's going
I mean, hell, I still like Muddy Waters.
on. Muddy Waters. No, I haven't heard anything from Muddy Waters. I may have to start listening to them. I'm assuming they're blues?
Yeah. He was one of the guys that influenced Hendrix and Vaughn both. Matter of fact, I think it was a Muddy Waters song that Hendrix basically lifted to make Voodoo Child. Like I think it was like Louisiana Man or some shit like that.
Hey, did you hear about how like people are accusing Led Zeppelin of stealing their songs?
That's nothing new. I mean, I guess so, but I mean, how many songs have they stolen from other people?
Well, if they want to make an accusation, they can go ahead and do so.
I mean, it was. There's only so many combinations of notes that can go together before eventually they start sounding alike.
Yeah. Like, to be fair, like they're claiming that these are bands that they actually went on tour with Led Zeppelin before Led Zeppelin was like really big. So it's not just like happenstance. Like yeah, it's not just happenstance. Like people were just like making music and it just happened to be a song. These songs sound similar. Like there's evidence that they've had direct contact with these bands that Led Zeppelin supposedly ripped off.
Well, that used to happen all the fucking time. Blues guys used to get together, and they would just do like these jam sessions where they would create something really quick, and another guy would be like, "Hey, that's awesome! Can I use that?" And they're like, "Yeah, you know, I don't care." And they would get together, and you know, you might actually be hearing something that I don't know, Buddy Guy created that made it into an Eric Clapton song.
Huh.
I mean, that's the way that, you know, those old blues guys used to do it. That's how they got their inspiration. And that's how they were so damn good. But nowadays, it's like, oh my God, it takes like 5 writers to make something that repeats the same word over and over and over again. Like, have you seen that Queen meme? Like, Bohemian Rhapsody, 1 writer. And then it's like, oh shit, what's that one song? It's like a Beyonce song, Girls, We Rock This Mother, or some shit like that. Actually, it's like 5 or 7 writers to it. But the guy who actually wrote the music for Bohemian Rhapsody, Brian May, he actually also wrote the, I know it's totally not related, but he actually wrote the theme song to Cheers as well.
Oh, Cheers?
Yep.
Yeah, he also did the music for, what's that movie? I think it's like an 80s movie. It's like he's like a comic book hero who's like a football player.
I have no idea.
Can't believe I'm drawing a blank.
Wait, was this a cartoon?
No, it's a live action movie.
Oh, okay.
It's based on a comic book.
You beat the hell out of me, dude. I don't know.
That sounds awesome. Alright, I think we're calling it a night.
All right, man. I'll let you get to focusing on what you're doing.
Well, we're gonna be going to sleep, so yeah, I'm gonna focus on that.
All right, Holmes. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, see ya. I'll let you up about the one-off campaign. Alright, you looked alright.